Hi there. I will definitely tell you I am a Glock fanboy. I've been shooting Glocks since roughly about 25 years, from the 17 up to the newest model, which is the 41 MOS. But once in a while, you have to broaden your horizons and open your mind. I was at the gun store and I wanted to get the Smith and Wesson M&P 9L, the ported one. Unfortunately, this is a limited edition item and they're hard to find. So I've actually found another pistol that I really like from Smith and Wesson. It's an M&P, and it's the M&P 45 with the threaded barrel. Most of you have seen M&Ps before. They come with a variety of different things with them, uh, including multiple back straps for your hand. These are two of them. This came with the gun is installed with the medium one, and I've tried the other ones. Even though I have a small hand, I'm really happy with the medium size. What I like about this M&P is uh, it comes with two barrels. This is your standard barrel, and right here is, as you see, the threaded barrel. Threaded barrel for silencers or suppressors or however you want to point that out. But it comes with those two barrels, and this is also, from my understanding, is a limited production as well. So this is a really good thing that you can have two barrels for this 45, and you can switch off to which one barrel that you want. Funny thing is, you can buy silencers for or suppressors for this particular handgun depending on what state you live in. A lot of times you have to go through a lot of red tape or a lot of things with the ATF to even have permission to have these silencers or suppressors. For my purposes, I'm not going to even bother. It's not worth the hassle, and I really don't have a purpose to have a silencer on this firearm. What I like is it looks pretty cool, and I didn't mind it with the threaded barrel on here. Matter of fact, I will probably do a test with this and fire several rounds with the threaded barrel as well as the standard barrel. Like I said, both these barrels come with the firearm. Remove this safety lock out of the way, which is pretty standard. Uh, I don't know if you've seen any other videos. I can't do it right now because I have just this cell phone that I'm filming from. But under here, your tool, there's a tool in the back here. You can twist this knob around, pull the tool out, and it allows you to take the back strap off so you can put different size back straps on here, whatever's comfortable for you. I haven't shot this firearm yet, so I'm looking forward to doing this. So this is more of an impression than a review. Like I said, you have that tool for that, and you have the tool to use for any other things that you would like to use it for. What I like about this gun is really set up for left-handed people as well as right-handed people. All you have to do with this magazine release, you saw me click it a minute ago, you can rearrange this and move it to the other side so a left-handed person can have the opportunity to use this as just like a right-handed person. What's definitely ambidextrous on here is a slide uh, release or slide lock. Right here and here, it's the same lock, so you can pull. When you pull this down, the other side will go down as well. So that's a good thing if you are a left-handed person. You might want to think about having this. So a lot of gun manufacturers are doing the same thing as well. The barrel on this firearm is going with the threaded barrel, to me it's 5 inches. I measured it against my Glock 41, and they're about the same length with the threaded barrel on. With this barrel, the regular standard length for this barrel is 4.5 inches or 4.5 inches, however you want to say that. And I would like to test both these barrels out to see which one has accuracy or whether there's any difference at all. What's interesting here about this firearm is there's a company in Yonkers, New York. It's called Kimber. And what the similarities to me here is if you look here, the serrations. There's serrations in the back here and the serrations in the front. It just happens to remind me of a Kimber because I have a Kimber Raptor too, and it's the serrations a little bit remind me of that in the front and the back. And also, what's similar is it's more pronounced on this firearm than it is on my Kimber. There's a notch right here, so you can see whether or not if the gun is loaded, and the Kimbers have those also, but this really lets you see the brass sticking out here just to give you a notification. To break this firearm down, you just lock the slide to the rear, pull this lever back, depress the trigger, and take the slide off. And then you would have your regular way to break this down, similar to a Glock. There are Novak sights on here. I trying to get you to see the sight picture. It's a 3-dot sight. Maybe I'll change these sights. I'm not sure. I'll wait till I test fire it first. One of the things that I wish that was on this firearm that my Glock 41 has on the MOS system, I wish there was a spot here that would open up so I can put a optic on here. I know on some of the Smith and Wesson core series, they already have that adaptation on here where you can just put a plate and then mount any optics you want, but it's not so on this particular handgun. I took a break from recording. Like I said, I'm working off my cell phone to do this. I broke the gun down so you can see the serrated, the threaded barrel. You see here, there's a threaded barrel here, and here is your thread protector. So if you drop it, you won't strip the threads on here. I just want to let you see in comparison between both barrels, the standard barrel versus the threaded barrel. And if you look at the length here, it's roughly like they advertise. This is 4.5, and with the thread on here, it's going to put it to roughly 5 inches. So you get an idea of how that's going to look, the differences. What the guide rod here is a steel guide rod. Most polymer frame firearms don't have a steel guide rod. They usually some type of plastic guide rod with a coil spring. Okay, I took another break again. I reassembled the pistol, and reassembling it. This is with the regular barrel in. The regular barrel, as you see, there's of course there's not the threaded barrel, and you'll see it's a 4.5 inches. And this barrel would be ideal if you're deciding to, let's say, carry this gun concealed. Even though it's a little bit bigger, you could still probably conceal this fairly well. It doesn't have as much girth as some of the polymer pistols. I put this up next to my Glock 41, and it was slightly smaller in the width, and also when it comes to the slide was pretty much about the same width. But for some reason, this feels a little balanced, if you will. When you hold it, it feels a little bit balanced. for some reason or another, even though, like I said, I've been firing Glocks for a while. But one thing is when you have this, it's pretty good idea not to have that serrated barrel. It would probably be uncomfortable if you're wearing an in the pants holster or something of that nature. But this is way I would carry it if I was carrying concealed or for other purposes. Uh, I didn't mention that there are rails right here. The rails right here are for different flash. Like if you want to put additional things on there, like like a flashlight or laser, you could put attachments for here. I've actually seen a optic put on this, but it used a rail system, and then the optic was sticking up in here, and it looked kind of cumbersome because when you're pulling the trigger and the slide is going back, I wouldn't want the slide to scrape against the, I guess, support for the optic, because I could, yeah, I'm pretty sure that they make these the optic adapters for these well enough that it doesn't. But for some reason, I think that's what's going to happen. But like I said, I can't wait to shoot this gun. The only thing I can tell you is this portion here, which resembles a beaver tail. Uh, it's good for, let's say, slide bite. And there was one other thing I forgot to mention. This gun will fire with a round in the chamber, and there is a warning on here. I'm trying to zoom in for you on that. There is a warning on here. It says the gun will fire if a round is chambered in there, even if the magazine is out. Earlier Smith and Wessons, like for instance, I used to have a Smith and Wesson 6906 and 5906. I used to have those. What would happen is if you had the magazine in, you pull the magazine would come out and the trigger wouldn't fire. So you would actually have to have the magazine in for the gun or the trigger to be depressed. And I guess they're trying to warn guys like myself who had those earlier firearms that this gun will fire with a round in the chamber, similar to the Glocks. But that's understandable why they did that. Uh, like I said, I love the gun a lot. I did have to basically open my mind to other firearms that are out on the market. And like I said, I am a Glock fanboy, but this is really a gun I anticipate shooting. It reminds me of a Glock in a lot of ways, but with a few different features. But I'll let you know how that works out. If you definitely are interested in this gun, I pretty much can say from my impressions, it's a nice firearm, and I can't wait to shoot it. Take care.